Do you ever sit back and wonder if a current friend with interpersonal relations will remain a part of your life forever, or simply act as a temporary partner in ideas and knowledge? My name is Cameron Bebb, and my topic is on how to maintain stable and interdependent relationships with friends who you may not see as often. By demonstrating the values of collaboration and compromisation within an interpersonal relationship, individuals in the relationship are given the potential to mutually benefit each other without having to see each other all that often. In this presentation, I will demonstrate the importance of making relation conflicts latent, dealing with conflicts in a respectful manner, and how I can then apply the findings from this text to the relationship I have with a longtime friend, Noah Dalton. In the academic journal Keeping Conflicts Latent, Salient versus Non-Salient Interpersonal Conflict Management Strategies of Japanese, written by Satomi Nakatsugawa, the author provides the educated bias on conflict avoidance strategies and how to continue relationships without any bad intentions through the use of communication and cooperation. Latent meaning present but not active, and salient meaning noteworthy or prominent. My interpersonal relationship with Noah has always been strong. We depend on each other for advice with girls, school, etc. But over time, since the start of college, the dependence became weaker because of a mutual egocentric thought process. We both became busy with school and work and less concerned with the well-being of each other. Nakatsugawa demonstrates the importance of other-oriented communication while stating, self-concerns pertain to the assertiveness or self-expression of an individual's own interests, while other concerns entail cooperativeness in support of the interests of the other person. By emphasizing the replacement of self-oriented thoughts or topics of conversation to ones of a personable manner, with intentions to build relationship through interest in each other's affairs. Self-oriented speech invokes conflict within interpersonal relationships, whereas other-oriented speech focuses on the goals of all parties involved, from improving communication using other orientation in Chapter 4 of Carrie Hutchinson's Interpersonal Communication, Navigating Relationships in a Changing World. The first hypothesis I found was questioning the Japanese culture and how non-salient their communication conflicts are, and how it leads to an overall better other-oriented relationships with other. This study aimed to elaborate on the motives surrounding their non-salient strategy choice, specifically focusing on their intents behind keeping potential conflicts to themselves, i.e., non-salient intents, and how these intents affect their conflict strategy preference, from page 43. Through their study of 5 conflict stages and developing the most effective ways of manipulating conversation, a non-salient approach to conflict is always more reasonable than a salient one, when the intention is to mutually benefit each other's knowledge and well-being. The second hypothesis was identifying the proper time to use avoidance techniques, resolving communication problems by sidelining them, compared to the time using a more salient approach. Nakatsugawa's analogy of avoidance. From Western individualistic perspective, avoidance is particularly considered detrimental because problems are put on a shelf to be resolved over time. Reveals how avoidance can defer problems but not make them vanish, whereas a non-salient approach to communicating about the conflict will always end up being the best option. The research question was, how does Japan demonstrate other-oriented communication skills? Should you use a non-salient or salient form of communication when resolving conflict with close individuals, and how does avoidance differ from a salient approach to conflict? Japan demonstrates a non-salient form of communication to resolve short-term issues rather than prolonging them through avoidance, while focusing primarily on the communicator's intentions when they speak. The relationship with my current and childhood best friend Noah Dalton has come to a point where both of us have too many obligations to make time for each other. It is a relationship built on trust. We grew up having each other's backs when we need support. We have 2 of the characteristics that define an interpersonal relationship. We are interdependent and we follow rules of behavior while interacting, but we have become distant as if we hardly know each other because of our egocentric tendencies while operating as young adults in society, leading to a lapse in relational maintenance. Through collaborative and compromisation strategies, my best friend Noah and I should be able to consider each other's obligations and find time to continue our mutually beneficial concrete language and speech. It is made possible to communicate efficiently and in a humane way when individuals in an interpersonal relationship collaborate and feed from each other's ideas to mutually advance knowledge. Relational maintenance with people you share interpersonal relationship with leads to a happier and healthier communication standard.